And welcome, and this is the Contenders Corner podcast, Talks Wrestling, and here we are, guys, to bring you a SmackDown review. And yes, guys, we are here, only on YouTube, to talk everything that is wrestling, and this is your host, Jason. And yes, guys, if you're new to this channel, then please like and subscribe and support us on YouTube. And we are back, and again, guys, this is our Contenders Corner podcast t-shirt, and we will be releasing those, well, in the future, but it's just a promotion at the moment, guys. But anyway, and let's get this review on the way. But we've got a load to talk about, guys. In summary, we've got Cesaro and Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins and Jey Uso. We've got Tamina with Natalya versus Nia Jax with Shayna Baszler and Reginald. We've got a championship match for the Intercontinental Championship, and that is Apollo Crews versus Kevin Owens. We've got Aleister Black, who returns. We've got Bayley, who insults Bianca Belair. And then we have the Mysterios up against Alpha Academy. But again, guys, as always, let's get this review on the wraps. And there's lots talked about, guys. The predictable tag team match, which was Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins and Jey Uso. The predictable tag team match kicked off with Seth Rollins and Jey Uso getting the best of Cesaro and working over him in their corner. The Swiss Superman created separation and tagged Daniel Bryan into the match. The former world champion exploding into the ring and unloaded a series of yes kicks to his opposition. Heading into the commercial break, though, the heels regained control with a buckle bomb from Rollins to Bryan. The gutsy Bryan fought his way back, only for Uso to kick him off with a big Samoan drop. Bryan finally made the tag. The Swiss Cyborg burst in, delivering right hands and uppercuts to Uso. He executed a picture-perfect springboard uppercut, and before Bryan wiped out Rollins on the floor with a top suicider. The Cesaro delivered another uppercut and scaled the ropes, only to come off the top and directly into a super kick from Uso. Back from another commercial break, Cesaro went for the swing and Rollins countered into a roll-up. Cesaro escaped and applied the sharpshooter, only for Uso to break it up with a super kick to the back of the head. An angered Rollins walked out on his partner, nursing a back injury and leaving Uso to withstand a big uppercut from Cesaro and the running knee from Bryan, as the babyfaces earned the hard-fought victory. After the match, though, Bryan called Reigns out, while Cesaro delivered the swing to Uso. When Reigns didn't come out, Bryan had Cesaro swing Uso again, this time taunting the head of the table by insinuating that he wouldn't save Jey the way his cousin had repeatedly saved him in every championship match. Bryan ended by saying Reigns is afraid because he knows a match with Cesaro ends with a new champion. The babyfaces stood tall to close the segment, and it was Bryan and Cesaro who defeats Rollins and Jey Uso. And I'll give this a Contenders Corner match rating here, 4 out of 5. This was a fun, physical tag team match that highlighted Cesaro while showcasing both Rollins and Reigns as cowardly and selfish heels who use and abuse even their closest associates for their own benefit. Bryan was great at Cesaro's hype man after the match, and the sheer number of swings by the Swiss Superman to Uso was incredible. While the opening promo segment on the night was rather mundane, this was a hell of a lot of fun and really highlighted how immensely talented the top card is on Friday night. And again, fantastic, and a heads up to Cesaro for a great match in. He's a legitimate star here, but we'll move on to the promo later on, the next promo, and that was with Roman Reigns, and that's what I want to get onto as well. But we'll move on to that in a bit, guys. But we got moving on with Tamina versus Nia Jax. And the budding rivalry between Tamina and Nia Jax intensified this week as the second generation competitive battled the Irresistible Force in singles action, with respective partners Natalya and Shayna Baszler watching from the floor. Jax talked trash and Tamina answered by taking her opponent down with a Fez press. She looked for the body slam, but Baszler interfered and stopped the move. Undeterred, Tamina rocked Jax with a big boot, then sent her into the barricade. Back in the ring, failed interference from Baszler, and the returning Reginald led to a distraction that allowed Tamina to score the win off a roll-up. And I'm getting quite fed up with this Nia Jackson crap, guys. Even though Tamina won, I'm going to grade this still a 2 out of 5. Trying to find the good match in a match or segment is easier said than done sometimes, and this is one such case. From the unnecessary drama between Baszler and the not missed Reginald at ringside to the sloppy, disjointed action between bells, this was bad. The rushed nature, but because of the lack of time, only served to drag things down further, and it was lackluster, guys, and that is why I didn't really enjoy this, guys. And WWE Creative need to do much better, guys. And then we move on to the Intercontinental Championship match: Kevin Owens versus Apollo Crews. And early in the broadcast, Adam Pearce informed new Intercontinental Champion Apollo Crews that he would make his first title defense tonight, on SmackDown. Kevin Owens Later Big E took exception to Owens jumping the line, and while the new top contender confirmed the match should probably belong to the former champion, it doesn't. Instead, KO would defeat Crews and win the title. Owens outclassed Crews early in the match, but a time distraction by the massive commander Aziz allowed the champion to turn the tide in his favour. Crews crashed and burned on the floor though, allowing Owens to flatten him with a swanton bomb. Sami Zayn's music played, breaking up the pin and taking Owens' focus away from the title holder. Entering the break, Crews hung Owens up on the top rope and added a big clothesline for a near fall. The champion continued to dominate the action while Zayn sat in on commentary, repeatedly claiming the title is rightfully his. Owens fought back, delivering a cannonball that earned him a count of 2. Owens and Crews traded reversals before the challenger dropped his opponent with a pop-up powerbomb for 2. Owens dropped the champion on the ring apron, but a distraction by Aziz allowed Crews to score the roll-up for the win. After the bell, the massive commander dropped Owens with the Nigerian nail, leaving KO Kevin Owens lying after a cheap stunner to the vicious champion. And Crews defeated Owens, and I'll give this a Contenders Corner match rating of 3.6 out of 5. Another match, another distraction leads to the roll-up finish. To be honest, I quite enjoyed it. There was a lot of back-to-back action, guys. There was a lot of technical wrestling. It was enjoyable. It did its job. A lot of people are saying it was lazy booking, to be honest, and it wasn't something this match needed. And again, they said it completely and utterly dragged down a match that was both fun and showcased untapped potential between Owens and Crews. And I quite enjoyed it, guys. So I quite enjoyed it. It was back to back. There was a lot of good action there. We saw interferences from Aziz. We even saw Sami Zayn drop some dancing after the match. I thought that was a funny segment as well, guys, and it was entertaining. And then we move on to Aleister Black returns, and Michael Cole threw to a new vignette from the returning Aleister Black, who read from a book entitled The Dark Father. He chastised the viewers as the enigmatic promo came to a close. Elsewhere, Big E and Cruz brawled backstage until referees broke them up. Kayla Braxton caught up with the SmackDown Tag Team Champions Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. The Street Profits interrupted and a tense stare down ensued until Bayley broke it up. The newly announced number one contender talked trash on Bianca Belair, the EST of WWE, and new SmackDown Women's Champion confronted Bayley backstage. The heel threw fake compliments at the champion before laughing them off and walking away. I thought all them segments collided together. The fact that Aleister Black is back on TV, guys. The seriously under-utilized Black commanded the viewers' attention in his vignant segment, sending an ominous message to the WWE universe and creating genuine intrigue as to where his latest chapter would take him. The Tales of the Dark Father book could potentially be a nod to the new persona, and if so, there are few better choices than the Dark Father for the uber-talented Dutchman. And again, we saw a segment from Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode with a massive stare down between the Street Profits. We also saw Bayley talk trash on Bianca Belair, and I thought all these segments together, guys, with the fact that Aleister Black is back on WWE TV, I'll give this a 3.7 out of 5. For all them together was very good. And then we go into the Mysterios vs Alpha Academy. And the rivalry between the Mysterios and Alpha Academy continued on SmackDown, with the heels looking to extend their winning streak in duos action against the father and son tandem. They found success early and often as Chad Gable and Otis wore down Dominic Mysterio, cutting him off from his corner and overwhelming him with their power and technical wrestling advantage. The rookie competitor fought back, created separation and tagged Ray into the match. The arrival of the future Hall of Famer sparked a comeback for the babyfaces. Dominic stunned Gable with a sliding sunset flip powerbomb that drove the former Olympian into the guardrail. With Otis subdued at the ringside after Dominic rammed him into the commentary table, Ray scaled the ropes and delivered a splash to Gable for the win, and the Mysterios defeat Alpha Academy. And I'll give this a 3.5 out of 5. This was a really solid, high energy tag team match between two teams that have feuded for what feels like forever, but have quietly developed strong in-ring chemistry over that time. There will be those who argue the team of Gable and Otis needed to win to continue to build credibility with the WWE Universe, and while there is validity to that argument, the argument can be made that Ray and Dominic needed to win to retain their own legitimacy after months of doing everything in their power to put the new team over. Either way, it still feels like the Street Profits are next in line to challenge for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, raising the question, what is the end game for these two teams? Has this all been to keep them busy? But we'll see, guys. We'll see what's next in the chapter for the Mysterios, the Alpha Academy, and also the Street Profits. Are we going to see that play out, guys? The Street Profits versus Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. But anyway, that was the SmackDown review, and we move into our own breakdown. And again, we also saw a promo by Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. It was Cesaro and Daniel Bryan who called out Roman Reigns, and eventually Roman enters the ring. And again, it was this segment that I found quite, I don't know, it was disdained, guys. It was the fact that Cesaro just stood there and allowed Roman to disrespect him, and Cesaro just not making a word, not showing no emotion. There was no reaction to from Cesaro to Roman Reigns after Roman Reigns was blatantly disrespecting him, unacknowledging him there. it was like Cesaro was a ghost, and Roman Reigns was just looking at Daniel Bryan and speaking to Daniel Bryan. But anyway, Roman Reigns challenges Daniel Bryan next week on SmackDown, and if Daniel Bryan loses, then Daniel Bryan needs to leave SmackDown. Needs to leave Roman Reigns' office. SmackDown he needs to move off SmackDown. But anyway, I don't know. It was the fact that Cesaro was just stood there. He was just stood there, not making no reaction at all, and that was what kind of led. Where is this going with Cesaro now? Where is this going with Cesaro? But anyway, we could probably see him interfere in next week's match. Could we see Cesaro interfere in the match next week against Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns? I personally think Cesaro is going to interfere. He's going to play a part in that match somewhere in the line, and I think he will. I think he will make Roman Reigns acknowledge him as a possible contender for the Universal Championship. And that was our summary, guys. And then we move on to the top 5 of the week. And I'm going to put Cesaro. Cesaro had a it was an incredible match. It was a great match, guys. And Cesaro and Daniel Bryan deserve to be at the top this week. And I'm going to put them at the top. They did a fantastic job. Cesaro, the amount of times he swung Jey Uso was incredible. And again, credit to Cesaro and Daniel Bryan. Roman Reigns, he delivered a fantastic promo. The fact that he disrespected Cesaro, and Cesaro just stood there, not even responding, didn't show no emotion, and I thought it was a bit odd the fact that Cesaro didn't react to Roman Reigns disrespecting him. But anyway, the fact that Roman Reigns hasn't featured in the match this week, he moves down to 3rd place this week. He cut a good promo. I'll give him that. He cut a good promo. And then we have Apollo Crews, a fantastic match there. And then we saw Aziz interfere to distract Kevin Owens, which Apollo Crews then rolled up Kevin Owens for the win to retain the title. And then in 5th place, Aleister Black. Fantastic promo by Aleister Black. And the fact that he's back on WWE TV was impressive. And we'll see where this new build-up goes with Aleister Black, with the Dark Father. And we'll see if this is a new direction for Aleister Black, a new character build. And we'll see where this goes. But anyway, your top 5, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Apollo Crews and Aleister Black this week. And again, this was the Contenders Corner podcast, and we appreciate all the fans that tune in every week on the Contenders Corner. And again, guys, this was the Contenders Corner talking wrestling. And yes, guys, stay awesome.